So now I've opened up Adobe Illustrator, and I'll go to the Open tab and open our exported LaserBox file. Now I'll need to select the screen and then zoom out so I can see everything by using Control-Alt-0. And the first thing I like to do is modify the artboard, which should represent our available material. The Zing laser can cut a piece of material that's 12 inches by 24 inches. And so to do that, I'll go to this Edit Artboards tab. And currently, the artboard is 34 by 44. So we'll go ahead and change this to 24 by 12 inches. And then as a personal preference, I like to move the upper left-hand corner of our box, this portion here, to 0, 0. And it kind of drops it out of sight, so I can use the roller wheel on the mouse to roll down to see it. I'm kind of guessing that we're going to need an additional artboard. So I'll go ahead, come over to this new artboard tab, select it, and it gives me by default the exact same size artboard. So now I can exit out of the artboard. And I want to zoom out to see all of my parts. So I can use Control- to zoom out. And they look like they're oriented in a vertical position, and I need them to be horizontal. So I'll drag a window around them to select them and rotate them 90 degrees using the upper right-hand tab. And now I kind of drag them back down so they're in a usable spot. I select out of there, I can grab another window, kind of drag this one so it's within my artboard. Same here, I'm thinking it's going to end up being over here. And to zoom back into the two artboards, I can use Control-Alt-0 again. Another useful zoom tool is the spacebar. Will allow you to pan, so I can move things to where I can see them a little better. If I want to zoom in on a specific element too, I can Z on the keyboard will give me a zoom tool, and I can zoom around that element. And V will bring me back to the selection tool. So Fusion 360 brings the parts in with a mask, and we're going to need to remove this mask. So I'll highlight a part, and just by highlighting one section of it, it brings in the entire thing, and it's masked together, and the mask needs to be deleted and released. So I'll select the release mask, and now the mask is still in there, but it's kind of hiding behind it. I want to delete that as well. And we're releasing the mask so that it's easier to come back in and modify this line weight. Now, if you notice, these elements are not tied together. They're free floating. So if I move this inadvertently, I'm going to lose the relationship to my slots here. Now, Control-Z will bring it back to where it was. And if I select a window around my element, I can either right-click and select Group, or I'll Control-Z, I can select my window, I can select Group over here. Either one is effective. So now when I select my part, move it around, it's all tied together. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Control- on the keyboard. And I'm going to go back in and release the mask on each of these parts and delete the mask and group the part together. Group. So release. Delete on the keyboard. We'll delete that mask. Drag a window. Right click. Group. Release the mask. Delete the mask, group the component. So spacebar and left mouse key will let me pan over, release the mask, delete the mask and group. The last thing we'll do, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, is modify the line weight so that the laser knows to cut all the way through the material. And I can select all the lines now, come up here to stroke on the right hand side, and I need to give it a line weight of 0.001. That lets the laser know that that's a through cut or a vector cut. Any other line weight is going to be what's called a raster cut or engraved cut, and that will not penetrate all the way through the material. So in the next video, we'll look at copying and pasting these components and orienting them onto the artboard.